Now, as I was debating whether or not to upload another video talking about shows that come on the Disney Plus, initially I wanted to talk about the Goof Troop, but something in my heart told me to look up another show. And much to my happiness and surprise, it's on the Disney Plus. But no one has been talking about it. Except for me. Because everyone's been talking about DuckTales. Now everyone's talking about Tailspin and Gargoyles and Spider-Man and whatnot. And those are all good shows. But the one show that got me to cry as a kid back then, and still got me to tear up now just by watching it again, is the new adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Now, I want you to know, this series was the best. Initially, when I first heard about Winnie the Pooh, I had watched the movie, the classic hand-drawn movie that came out a couple of decades ago. And me and my sister watched that relentlessly. But when this series came on the Disney afternoon, early in the morning, or late at night, I loved watching it. When it had a marathon, I loved watching it. Why? Because look, I don't care. I don't care if people say that I'm a little child because I've watched and I'm watching Winnie the Pooh. I don't care if people look at me differently. I don't care if I lose all respect. This is by far the most heartwarming Disney series ever, in my opinion. In my honest opinion, it is the most heartwarming series that ever came on TV back then, on Disney, the Disney Channel, because of the fact that it's literally Christopher Robin, Winnie the Pooh, and the entire gang doing what they do best, just living life, and coexisting with each other, and all that, and then Pooh just being Pooh with his very wise but childlike logic. And look, don't tell me y'all don't know about these characters, because there's no way, after all this time, no one knows about Pooh, no one knows about Tigger, no one knows about Piglet, no one knows about Owl, no one knows about Rabbit or Roo or Mrs. Kanga or Christopher Robin or Gopher. There's no way that anyone knows about this. And this series talks about all of them. All of them. And each one of them has their own individual series, I think. Except for, I don't know if Gopher has his own, not series, but episodes. I don't know if Gopher had his own significant episode, but there are a lot of episodes with this series that made me just tear up. It made me tear up. It made me just be like, oh my god. But the first two, I want to say, honestly, and I just got through watching it again, it's episode 2 of all things. It's A Friend Indeed and a donkey for a day. Now, the reason why I say these two episodes in significance is because for a friend for the Friend Indeed, there's a point where Rabbit gets tired of Pooh coming over to his house and getting honey. Because Rabbit is so, I think he's like a little timid, just a little bit. He does initially say no. He knows that Pooh is gonna visit him 24/7, 24 hours of the day, which is basically that this episode confirmed that Pooh Bear visits Rabbit's house every single day. Every single day. Now, Rabbit tried to board up his house. It didn't work because Pooh went to the back door. That's how comfortable Pooh's gotten to visit Rabbit's house. And he always gets his honey. Well, Rabbit decides to play a little trick on Pooh, where he puts up these signs saying that he's getting ready to move away. And Pooh is taking this very seriously. He's like, oh no. He's out of honey. And he thinks that I won't visit him anymore. I gotta go get honey. So that he won't to move away. So he gets Tigger and Piglet to help him, along with Gopher, to get this honey from this one tree. They end up flooding the damn the daggone tree. And eventually Pooh gets the honey. But because of the flood system that they have in the 100-acre wood, and he comes through out of Rabbit's little faucet. Rabbit is getting ready to tell him off. He was prepared to tell him off, but then he realizes that Pooh had a full jar of honey, which broke and got shattered all over the floor. And he wanted to give that to Rabbit so that he won't have to move away. And the moment he gets out of Rabbit's house, Rabbit is just like, oh god, Pooh was just trying to give me honey. So he gives him his own little jar of honey in the middle of the night, while Pooh Bear is sleeping. And then the next morning, Pooh visits Rabbit's house again, and they just share the honey together. And it was one of the most heartwarming things ever, because all Rabbit had to do was say no. But because he realizes that Pooh Bear was not trying to be a moocher and take all his honey away, and he was really trying to be a good friend, that honestly strengthened their relationship, their friendship a lot more. Now, for a day, Piglet sees, it starts off with Piglet seeing Eeyore on top of a hill looking at the clouds in the rain. He thinks that Eeyore is sad, so he gets everybody else together to come up with a plan to cheer Eeyore up. And I want you to know, I felt so bad for Eeyore, because with each of them, every last one of them, they made Eeyore's life terrible, miserable. They terrorized the living heck out of this poor donkey. Pooh gets him to eat stuff that he doesn't even want to eat. He doesn't like honey, but he shoves the doggone honey pot in Eeyore's mouth. Then gets him to eat all these apples. Well, first, he knocks the crap out of Eeyore with knocking down the apples, hitting him on his head. Surprised he didn't get a concussion from him. Yeah, and Eeyore decides to like ghost him a little bit because Pooh Bear was getting ready to have a smorgasbord of just eating all the time. Then freaking Rabbit, well, no, not Rabbit, but Owl puts balloons on Eeyore's legs and feet and gets him to float in the air. But then decides to pop the doggone balloons because he believes that Eeyore can just fly. Eeyore doesn't have wings, so how could he fly, Owl? Then Rabbit basically puts a freaking pulling mow on Eeyore, trying to get him to mow his garden. Which, how's that gonna make Eeyore happy? You're making him do manual labor. How's that gonna make him happy? But doing that knocks Eeyore's tail off. Rabbit sticks it in the wrong place, pricks the living crap out of Eeyore, and he's just running for dear life because of the pain. Then Tigger and Roo put springs on Eeyore's hands and feet, get him to bounce as high as he could, takes the springs off him, and he's still in the air, coming down. They decide to put a mattress at the side of a cliff. And Eeyore falls with the mattress down at the bottom of the cliff. I'm surprised this doggone donkey did not die from all this, cause like it was just nuts. They tortured the living crap out of him. And while all that's happening, Piglet is down in the dumps and just sad because he hasn't found a way a type of his own plan to make Eeyore happy. Until finally we get to, Eeyore being on his hill, which he always sits on. Piglet comes up and Eeyore's ready for it. All right, here we go again. He gets a helmet, puts it on and everything, and Piglet just tells him the whole reason why everyone was doing it. And he said, he's sad because he hasn't found anything, to make him happy and whatnot. And then Eeyore just all of a sudden shows him that, like, every time he gets on this hill, he's not doing it because he's sad. He does it because he's happy. He goes on that hill every day because of his happiness. And the reason why for the happiness, he shows Piglet, and there's this borealis of colors that apparently just shows up every afternoon or when it gets dark on this significant hill. And it's all these colors and just magical stuff just pops out all over these clouds, and it's like a ray of lights and just colors popping everywhere. And the whole gang shows up on this hill and just watches it with Eeyore and Piglet. And Piglet is just thanking Eeyore because of the fact that he's sharing this with him, and Eeyore is just happy that he's with his friends. And it was one of the many heartwarming episodes of this series. Like I got teary-eyed just thinking about it. Just watching it. It was so touching. I don't know what it is about Winnie the Pooh, this series alone, but it touches my damn heart. I can't explain it. How do I explain the depth of meaning behind these episodes? Even before that, Piglet got one episode. Piglet got really down in the dumps because he realized he was a fraidy cat because everything scared him. And then one point when Pooh Bear was supposedly in trouble, he just stood there. Like this series touches so many points on friendship and just love, and it's just, oh god, I don't know what to say. Like, Disney, when y'all created this series, these characters, you created gems, like actual gems that people will remember for a lifetime, even after they're gone. People will remember this. And I hope to God that, the new kids of today will watch this series and just be touched by it the same way that other people who came before them were touched by it. But with that being said, I'm gonna get up out of here before I start to get all teary-eyed again. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought about, what you think about this series, what you remember about the series, if you even watched it, and if you haven't watched it, are you going to watch it now that it's on the Disney Plus, or you're just going to watch something else? I would like to know. Also, join the Discord. We're always accepting more members to talk to and to share our own knowledge and jokes and happy times with. But that being said, I'm gonna get up out of here. This has been Master Ryo Sakurai. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.